It's very peculiar. The first video I'm talking about for movies in 2014 is my top 10 favorite movies of 2014. This just comes to show you that I'm one lazy motherfucker. But anyways, hey the YouTube, Lucas Stringer here. I'm so happy to say that again. And today for you guys, I'm going to give you my top 10 favorite movies of 2014. This was an awesome year for movies, way better than many other years that I've seen. And of course, since this was an awesome year, there are a ton of honorable mentions I need to mention before I get to my top 10, and here they go. Begin Again, Big Hero 6, The Raid 2, 22 Jump Street, The Grand Budapest Hotel, The Lego Movie, Snowpiercer, Enemy, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, X-Men Days of Future Past, Captain America the Winter Soldier, and Edge of Tomorrow. Awesome movies, all of these. I love these movies to death, and I pretty much own half of the honorable mentions I mentioned on Blu-ray. I love these movies. But there were 10 other movies that I just thought were better. And of course, there's still 2014 releases that I still need to see, but I just need to make this video quickly because it's already January 2nd or 3rd of 2014. I need to make this video quickly. Ones I haven't seen are like The Babadook, I haven't seen The Guest, and of course releases that don't come to my hometown till like January, like mid-January, early January, like Inherent Vice, American Sniper, Selma, Still Alice, a couple more, but those are pretty much it. Now, let's get to my top 10 favorite movies of 2014. At number 10, we have probably the most fun that I've had in a movie theater all year long, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy. I absolutely love this movie. It was action-packed. It was edge-of-your-seat thrilling on occasion. It was really funny, a lot more funny than I thought it was going to be. And there were actually moments where I got teared up because it was actually a bit sad. And it had awesome performances by Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, Bradley Cooper, and Vin Diesel. Those five were just amazing, and I loved all of those characters. I had never had as much fun in a movie theater as I had seeing Guardians of the Galaxy. Wasn't the best movie I saw in a movie theater, but it was the most fun that I had. It's an action-packed movie, definitely one of the best superhero movies that I've seen ever, and it beat movies like Captain America and X-Men out of the water. Because which ones are more popular? I think the other two that I mentioned. Guardians of the Galaxy was amazing, and if you haven't seen it, go buy it, go rent it, just watch Guardians of the Galaxy. You will have a blast. At number 9, probably the most recent film that I've seen out of all these movies on my top 10, and that is The Imitation Game. I'll admit it, I literally did not have high hopes for The Imitation Game. I really just thought it was going to be like overrated garbage, kind of like The King's Speech. If any of you like The King's Speech, I'm sorry, I absolutely loathe The King's Speech. I thought it was overrated, not really that good, and I really don't think it should have won Best Picture. Did it win Best Director? But if it did, oh yeah, it did. It shouldn't. Colin Firth, I don't think should have won Best Actor. It shouldn't have won any of the Oscars that it won, in my opinion. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about The King's Speech. I'm here to talk about The Imitation Game, and this film was absolutely fantastic. An Oscar-worthy performance by Benedict Cumberbatch. He better get nominated. I don't really hope that he would win, but I really do hope that he gets a nomination because he was fantastic in this movie. Along with Keira Knightley, she was great in the movie as well. It had an amazing script. I actually was never bored. I really thought this movie was just going to be kind of a snooze fest. I was entertained the entire time. My eyes were glued to the screen. I was really entertained by it. I was really surprised by it. It had an amazing story. How it had to take 50 years for this movie, not for this movie, for this story to actually be told. It's just fantastic, and putting it on screen was just breathtaking, and The Imitation Game is definitely a movie you need to see. At number 8, some people thought that this movie was just stupid and boring, and a lot of people just thought it was just okay, and a lot of people loved it, including myself, and that is Under the Skin. Under the Skin is just such a beautiful film. I'm not just saying beautiful because Scarlett Johansson gets naked, but that's a big reason that you should watch that movie. But actually, not really. This movie is just fantastic. And basically, it's been called this, and I sort of feel that way, but sort of don't. How it feels like this generation's 2001: A Space Odyssey. I can see it. I kind of got a lot of the same vibes that I did when I was watching 2001: A Space Odyssey, because this is just a beautiful film. And amazing performance by Scarlett Johansson. She probably won't get nominated for an Oscar, but I believe that she should. And definitely had one of the best scores I've seen all year. Also, should get nominated for Best Original Score, but I guarantee you that it won't. I guarantee that this movie will not get nominated for any Oscars, which it should. This movie will get snubbed at the Academy Awards, I can already tell. But definitely watch this movie. It's so artistic. It's so beautiful. It has amazing cinematography. It has great acting by Scarlett Johansson. Also has amazing writing, which I thought could have been nominated for Best Screenplay, but I for sure know that it won't. At number 7, David Fincher, You Didn't Let Me Down again with Gone Girl is just an absolutely fantastic movie. My eyes were glued to the screen the entire time. And also, to be honest, if there were any other movies that I didn't have as much fun with in Guardians of the Galaxy, I actually had a great time when I was in the theaters for Gone Girl. I saw Gone Girl 3 times because I could not stop thinking about it, and I just wanted to see it again and again, and I cannot wait till it comes out on Blu-ray so I can watch it even more. Mysteries sometimes can be my favorite genre because I'm always so into it, and Gone Girl, I was just into it the entire time. I was asking questions, and when I found out what happened, I was shocked. I was yelling at the screen. Well, actually whispering because people would have yelled at me at the movie theater, but I was freaking out the entire time. This movie had an awesome screenplay by the author of the book, which is always awesome, and of course a great direction by David Fincher, which is one of my favorite directors of all time, and of course has great cinematography because, well, it's a David Fincher movie. If it doesn't have good cinematography, then what? Just go out and see Gone Girl. You will have such a fun time trying to figure out what is going on, and it's just such a great movie. At number 6, we have a career-changing performance and just a full-out awesome fun movie, which is Nightcrawler. Jake Gyllenhaal completely gives a career-changing performance. He was absolutely phenomenal in this movie. He could win the Oscar. Well, I don't think he will, but he kinda maybe should. He was one of my favorite performances of the year. Definitely the best performance of his career by far. This is a great year for him. He had Enemy, he had Prisoners last year, and now he has Nightcrawler. He was so creepy. He was so edgy, which I've never seen from him in a movie before. He was absolutely great. And it doesn't help, well, it actually does help by how it had such a great screenplay, great direction, great action, just a full-on fun movie. You need to go see Nightcrawler. It comes out on Blu-ray, I think, February 10th, I believe. You definitely need to go see Nightcrawler. It better get Oscar nominations because it was one of the best films of the year, in my opinion, since it is in my top 10. And you definitely need to watch this movie if you want to have a good time. Nightcrawler is definitely a movie to see. At number 5, we have one of the most interesting movies of this year, one of the funniest movies of this year, surprisingly, and probably one of the best ensemble casts I've seen in a movie all year, and that is Birdman. This movie is just absolutely fantastic. I really like it how they tried to make it seem like it was in one shot. I thought that was awesome, and I bet that was actually really hard to do, so props to the editor. It had great direction, had one of the best screenplays that I'd seen all year. Probably my favorite original screenplay that I've seen in a film all year. I absolutely loved the screenplay for this movie. And of course, another career-changing performance from Michael Keaton. He gave the best performance of his career. In my opinion, he will probably win the Oscar for this movie. He's my number 1 pick who's going to win. Not who I want to win, but who I think will win. And he's well-deserved. He was fantastic in this movie. And also great performances from Edward Norton, Emma Stone, even Zach Galifianakis. They all did so good in this movie. It was funny, and I really love how it was about a play because, like, I do tons of plays myself, and all the backstage stuff that's happened. It's kind of like it is for backstage whenever I do a show. It's always so much fun. Had a great story. And also, I love how it was kind of similar to Michael Keaton's actual career because, well, he was the original Batman. And I bet it's hard for him to, like, not be recognized as any other performance except for Batman, which I bet he doesn't like it at all. But now, it's fine now because now he's not just going to be recognized for Batman. He'll now be recognized for Birdman. At number 4, At number 4, we have, I really wanted this movie to be higher. I was thinking that this could end up being close to my favorite movie of the year, but there were 3 other movies that I loved more. And at number 4, we have Whiplash. Words cannot describe how much I love this movie. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. My eyes were glued to the screen. Phenomenal performances by Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons. I love how they're just giving them the biggest battle of wits that you could ever have in a film. And J.K. Simmons, he better win Best Supporting Actor for this film. He was absolutely fantastic. I've never seen a more awesome performance from J.K. Simmons' career. He's a very underrated actor, and even for the Golden Globes, it's his first ever nomination, which is awful. He should have been nominated way earlier. He's such an underrated actor, and he got the biggest chance that he ever had in his entire career, and he gave a phenomenal performance, and he was probably my favorite part about this movie. And it also helps that it had phenomenal music. I have the entire soundtrack on my iPod. I listen to it constantly, and it also just had great writing, and it also just had also other great performances from Miles Teller, and one of the best screenplays I've also seen all year. Awesome original screenplays this year. All the movies in my top 5, I think, are original except for one. They were all phenomenal screenplays, and I actually want to read them. I love reading screenplays. It's just a thing that I do. But just go out and see Whiplash. If it's still in theaters around you, you definitely need to see it as soon as you can. You will have an absolute blast with this movie. And also, probably the best ending out of a movie that I've seen all year. Definitely go see Whiplash. It better get nominated for a bunch of Oscars because it absolutely deserves it. At number 3, we probably have the most relatable movie that I've seen all year long and in such a long time. This was just such a very interesting concept, and how it took 12 long years to make is just phenomenal, and that movie is Boyhood. There are so many things I could relate to for this film. I absolutely loved it to death. I've seen it 4 times, and that is the most I've seen a movie all year long. I just could relate so much to this film. I just loved how you could also see old things are being used. Like there's one scene when they're using the old 20 question ball, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. I could definitely relate to the character of Mason. They all gave such, not phenomenal performances, just absolutely real. It just seemed like you were actually watching this kid grow up, and it was just such a great experience, and that you're only going to be able to see once in a lifetime. There probably might be some movies that are kind of similar to this, but none of them are going to be as good as Boyhood because it's original, it's so creative, it's funny, it's sad, it's just full of everything that you want in a motion picture. Boyhood was absolutely phenomenal. I really was convinced when I first saw it that was going to be my favorite movie of the year. I was convinced. But there are 2 other movies, which shows how awesome of a year that 2014 was. And Boyhood will be out on Tuesday. Buy it at midnight. Go, you're at Walmart at midnight, go out and buy it. If you're at any store that sells Boyhood at midnight, go tell them to get it out of the back and give it to you, because Boyhood is a movie that you absolutely need to see. I think that everyone needs to see at least once. I loved Boyhood, and I bet that you will too. At number 2, it's a very mixed movie. Some people loved it like I did. Some people thought it was really, really good, and some people just thought it was stupid. If you think it was stupid, how dare you? And that, of course, is Interstellar. This was just such a beautiful, beautiful motion picture. I absolutely loved Interstellar. Of course, Christopher Nolan, one of my all-time favorite directors. He's just such a great director, and also screenwriter. He's one of the only screenwriters nowadays, and his brother Jonathan Nolan, who really just can come up with original and true movie ideas, which Hollywood is struggling with nowadays. Basically, a lot of movies that we've been seeing this year that have been big blockbusters have been sequels, and now, even this year, I've been hearing about a bunch of sequels that are just unnecessary because they have no ideas left, and thank God we still got people like Jonathan and Christopher Nolan who can think of such true and original ideas like this. Matthew McConaughey just keeps impressing me more and more by year. He gave a phenomenal performance in this movie, and in my opinion, could get an Oscar nomination, but I bet that he won't. The only things that this will get nominated for, I think it should get nominated for Best Original Screenplay, but who knows, maybe it will, but it'll just take away all the visual effects Oscars, sound editing, everything. It's just going to take all of it away. Just such a beautiful film, great direction, great acting, great visual effects, the best visual effects I've seen in a movie all year. It just looked beautiful, and definitely better than Gravity. Yes, I said it. It's better than Gravity. All those big fans of Gravity, come at me. I'm ready. And I'm not just loving Interstellar just because I'm a Christopher Nolan fanboy. I thought that this was just a phenomenal film. I've never seen anything like it. It just had such a great story, and I really didn't know what was going to happen the entire time. And I actually cried the second time I saw it as well. You need to see Interstellar. And finally, here it comes. My #1 favorite film of 2014. Many of you are going to be shocked by this, because I have not seen any other YouTube critic, or just full-on critic for that matter, having this movie as their favorite movie of the year. But in my opinion, it is. And that is Foxcatcher. Such an amazing film. In my opinion, the best ensemble cast of 2014. Steve Carell, Channing Tatum, and Mark Ruffalo were absolutely fantastic. Steve Carell, of course, complete career-changing performance. I never thought that Steve Carell would do this good of a performance, especially like me back in after seeing The 40-Year-Old Virgin. I never think that he'd be able to play such a dark and creepy and intense role. He was phenomenal. And Channing Tatum, he is getting so underlooked for this movie. He's not getting nominated for anything, and he should. In some ways, I think he did better than Steve Carell. Channing Tatum was phenomenal in this movie. Probably could be my favorite performance of 2014, more than Steve Carell's. Oh God, Channing Tatum was phenomenal in this movie, and so was Mark Ruffalo. They all were so good in this movie. And Bennett Miller is definitely one of the best directors out there. I loved Moneyball. I have not seen Capote, but he's just such a true and original director, and how it takes a long time for him to figure out all these films, what he's going to do with it, what he's going to do with the screenplay, what he's going to do with everything. He definitely is one of the most focused directors in Hollywood, and I cannot wait to see more of his work. And just the story is just absolutely fantastic. It's based on a true story. Definitely look anything up about the story, and you'll show how they were really showing as much as you can to see how similar it was to the actual event. It's definitely a dark film, and definitely makes you feel some weird way, but no other movies made me feel like this all year, and I love movies like this. It was so dark and so edgy. I've never had this feeling in a movie all year long. And one of the things I love the most about this movie is how it just shows the true psychology of John DuPont and Mark Schultz, or aka Steve Carell and Channing Tatum. These two human beings were real interesting to learn about, and they both, the actors both play them off extremely, extremely well. And even Mark Schultz had said about Steve Carell portraying John DuPont like he had been resurrected from the dead. This was definitely the best ensemble cast of the year, definitely one of the best acting I've seen all year, not many years. And definitely, if you're a movie lover, you definitely need to watch this movie, mostly for the acting, the directing. It was just such a phenomenal motion picture, and this is an instant classic in my opinion. You need to see Foxcatcher, and that is why it is my favorite film of 2014. And that was my favorite movies of 2014. I really hope you enjoyed it. And since I've been gone for so long with movie reviews, I'm going to be tortured tonight because, well, since you know, it's the first week of January. And so, I'm going to have to go see. Wish me luck, people. Wish me luck. Anyway, I'm Lucas Stringer. I'll see you guys later.